You can't have a job go sideways if you just follow simple steps. Your insurance doesn't protect you if you hire an unlicensed contractor. A handyman doing more than $500 work on your house isn't going to be covered. That's when you start to break the line. And you can't do it $500 cumulatively. Well, $500 cumulatively. He can't do $400 today, and then tomorrow we're going to do another $300 worth of work.
Right.
He's $500 for the whole project, or you need to have a licensed contractor. So there's a role.
Is it the whole project of that specific thing?
It's basically sometimes they'll use the handyman as a way to go around the $500 minimum. Mm-hmm. So for example, you have a section of fences down, you can go in there for $400 and fix a section of fence. But he can't go in and do $3,000 worth of fence because he's doing $400 worth today, and tomorrow he's going to come and do a $60 latch, and the day after that he's going to come back, he's going to go $300 more section. That's cumulatively over the project.
Okay.
So you just don't want to hire a handyman perpetually.
Gotcha.
Because you can't do like, well, I need a ceiling fan hung, I need a couple recessed cans installed, I want the faucet changed out, I want the sink changed out, and over the time they've remodeled your kitchen.
Right. No. That's enough.
No.
Okay. I think a lot of people do that.
A lot of people make that mistake, and they make the mistake because they think it's cheaper, but it's not. In the long run, it's actually going to cost you because you lose all of your protections. You lose your ability to get damages repaired under warranty because you can't chase these guys down. They don't have the insurance, they don't have the license, they don't have the bonds, they don't have any of the stuff that's required to protect you should something go wrong. Imagine hiring a handyman for $300 to swap out a faucet, and he leaves and it leaks and it takes out your entire hardwood floor that you just put down.
Who's going to pay for that?
Who pays for that? Well, if it's a handyman, he doesn't really have insurance for stuff like that,
Right.
so your homeowner's insurance is going to. But if you go and you hire yourself a handyman, and then he does the new countertops on the island, and then he does a new sink, and he does a new faucet, and he installs the dishwasher and the garbage disposal, and he effectively goes through and does a bunch of remodeling on your house, and then there's a problem. Your insurance is going to go, you didn't hire a handyman, or you didn't hire a contractor, because they'll pay the claim, but then they want to go after the contractor for their insurance to get the money back, and there isn't any. So they won't even cover the claim.
So the homeowner's insurance, what do they cover? They'll cover contractors who are licensed?
Actually, the homeowner's insurance generally has coverages for handyman, lawn care, cleaners, and stuff like that. So you've already got that pretty much built into your policy.
Okay.
They're not going to cover the insurance. They're not going to cover the general contractor who messes up a job. That's the general contractor's responsibility. He's the one who has to have the right insurance.
So if it did leak and it wouldn't go on, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't have to file a claim under my insurance. The contractor would file his claim.
Yes, the contractor goes in and he handles it.
Which is very important because they track those things.
Yes.
Come 6 months later, you can get a letter in the mail saying, hey, we've let you go.
We've let you go because you didn't follow the rules. If you're out there, and the following the rules is exposing them to risk.
Right.
So if you're perpetually bringing in handyman doing more work than they're supposed to, you're exposing them to risk, and they're going to remove you. They're going to get you out of the game completely.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people don't realize in the big picture by trying to cut corners, trying to cut costs and things like that, and why our insurance premiums are skyrocketing. It's all these little things that add up to why that happens. Another good question. My brother's a painting contractor also, and I know he deals with mechanics liens and all things that. But what is a mechanics lien?
They're scary. Yeah, they're scary. A mechanics lien is, as a homeowner, if you're hiring a licensed contractor, they're going to sit down and say, okay, and here's mechanics lien paperwork, so if you don't pay me, I can lien your house and sell your house. And that's scary, and that's intimidating. The problem with that is it's not scary and intimidating. That's the best thing in the world you possibly want on your property. That's what you want. You absolutely want a contractor that's following the laws and doing the mechanics lien process. A mechanics lien demands that the contractors and everybody on the house is getting paid. Okay, you're not supposed to commingle funds.
Is there a certain time when you're supposed to?
Oh yeah, there's an entire process. Okay. It starts with the contract, where they have to notify you what the mechanics lien process is. They also have to, by law, make sure everybody working on your house you know about. Everybody. So if the contractor hires a tile company to do your tile floor, you, by law, must know who they are. And this is where you get your property protected. If you pay a contractor in full and he doesn't pay the tile guy has a right to lien your house and get paid, even though you've already paid. They can force the sale of the house and get paid. So there's a process called the mechanics lien progress payments and lien releases. So you make absolutely sure nobody can come after you. When you get notified of everybody who's on your house, as you give people progress draws, they have to give you lien releases. So you never pay a contractor a dime. If you've got the stage where you've done your tile or you're painting, for example, contractor hires your brother as a painter. Your brother is going to give the contractor a lien release saying he's been paid. And then you pay the contractor because he's going to give you a lien release. Your brother can't come after the house now. Right. So you never pay a dime unless it has lien releases for all the work that's been done up to that point. That makes absolutely sure you're protected. It makes absolutely sure the contractor's paying his bills, and it makes absolutely sure nobody can come out and do an end run. Yeah. Another thing the mechanics lien process does is it makes sure that you're notified about everybody on the job, which means you're making sure that you're hiring contractors and subcontractors and actual tradespeople and not a whole bunch of handyman working under the table for a contractor that are not licensed and not protecting your property. Yeah. So it's a simple process, but it's a scary, intimidating process, but it's the best thing in the world for you.
That is absolutely the best thing that somebody can be doing. So you're saying if a contractor hires a subcontractor, basically, the owner needs to know about that person. They just can't go in and go, hey, I got some guys coming through and they're going to knock out the whatever.
They're going to show up on the house. Don't worry about it. I got them covered. No. The homeowner must know.
So at that point you say, no, I need to know who that is.
Yep.
And then what do you do from there with that information as a homeowner? Are you supposed to?
Well, you don't really necessarily have to do anything.
You just need to know who it is.
Yeah. See, and that's the cool part about hiring a general contractor is you're not supposed to do any of that. They're supposed to inform you every step of the way. It's their job. Their job as a general contractor isn't to get the job done. Their job as a general contractor, their first and foremost absolute top level responsibility is to protect your property.
Right.
And that means they inform you of everything. They handle the paperwork. They keep you posted on what's going on, and they make absolutely sure nobody can do an end run and come after you.
Right.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Anybody and by law they're supposed to notify you about it. If they're not telling you, they're in violation of the contract. They're not doing it right.
Right.
They're not protecting your house. So you start talking to contractors when you're getting bids. If they're not explaining the mechanics lien process, if they're not explaining the progress draws, if they're not explaining the scope of work, get another contractor.
Right.
You don't even want to try to make them do their job. If they're not coming out and doing it, walk.
Yeah, that's probably some of the best information that you guys could, and me also, that I've learned should be doing. And I know a lot of us aren't doing it. I'm constantly talking to people who are getting their house done and remodeled. They have a contractor going in, but I know these steps aren't being in place. And this is what's going to protect all of us if we know to do these things right. And the contractor is the one who's supposed to be doing this stuff for us. And if we don't know that they're supposed to be doing it, then we don't know. And that's why I wanted to kind of put this video together, because this is stuff that we all should be knowing, that what a general contractor should be doing. He should be, if he's subcontracting that information out, he needs to let us know who that is, and then we should be paying them on a draw, and they should be releasing the lien that person's been paid. Because I have seen this story that you have just said over and over where, hey, this person didn't get paid, and then there's this situation between the homeowner, the contractor, the subcontractor, lien, using the the bond money and all these different things that needs to happen, and it just becomes a disaster. And then relationships are ruined. All these things happen when things aren't just done properly and correct and right. So first thing you need to do is find a contractor that does the thing the correct way.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, Greg, that's where I spend a lot of my time. Yeah. I love doing these kinds of information. I'll go out to state fairs, county fairs, home and garden shows and everything, and I will teach how to hire contractor classes. Yeah. And no one really goes.
Yeah.
But then the Contractor State License Board or the local building departments, Placer County, County, YOLO, all these different building departments, they will call me personally when there's conflicts between homeowners and contractors, and I have to go dispute mediation and resolution. So I have to go be the arbitrator, and I have to go be the mediator, and then I have to go like pull out this spaghetti bowl of just nonsense.
He said, she said,
and get down to the root of where things went wrong. So I know intimately firsthand how to get people out from under this. It's so much easier just to don't go there in the first place. If you just spend a couple steps in advance preventing and clarifying and verifying things, these things never go sideways.
So like you say, it starts from the beginning.
Yep.
So at the beginning, is there a way that the contract should be set up, started? Like what should be in a contract?
It really is not that complicated of a question. The problem is misunderstandings. It always comes down to misunderstandings or unmet expectations. And it's impossible to have an unmet expectations if you talk. If you just talk everything out. I know what every single term I'm using means, but the person hearing it might have a different interpretation. So the first thing a contractor is supposed to do is explain first, this is what these words mean, and this is what now we're going to put down in writing. So they have to go through and educate first and establish a scope of work that clearly defines exactly what we're going to do on this project. No speculations, no guessing, no, yeah, I can remodel your kitchen for about $45,000. It's going to look great. That is not a contract.
Right.
That is not a scope of work. And there's absolutely nothing you can do in court if it goes bad, because it'll look great is subjective.
Right.
So you have to go, how great? I want this faucet. And they write down the model number and the color and everything. And I want this tile, and I want this gap on the tile, and I want this color shading. I want this paint on the wall. And you can't just go, I think I want a nice beige wall. No, you have to get color chips and you have to pick it.
And that should be in the contract.
And that's in the contract. That's called a scope of work. The contract is the legal document guaranteeing the number and the payment draw. The scope of work is attached to the contract, and it is a document that is everything. Everything. And if you don't have a contractor who, again, is willing and demands that you write down a clear and concise scope of work, find someone else. Because there's going to be a problem down the road, because you said white and he said white, and that's not the right shade of white on the walls. So there's 1,000 different colors.
Right.
So you've got to be crystal clear.
Right.
And you have to have a contractor who is willing to sit down and have these conversations to make absolutely sure, not to protect himself, but to prevent you from making a mistake and saying the wrong word. His job is to protect your property first. Right. And then you get the good craftspeople to do the work. That's a good contractor. So yeah, it all comes down to the contract, and the contract has to have the payment draws. Yeah. The contract has to have the mechanic lien information. The contract has to have insurance conditions. The contract has to spell out everything so you're never surprised.
My question, but my observation is, how many of us have even went into a transaction without all that stuff Jeff just said, or even a contract? A lot of times, and I'm not. A lot of times, you call somebody out, they send you a one-page bid quote. Hey, we can do it for this or that, and then they start work from there. Yep. Like there is actually even no contract.
No contract. Bad idea.
How many of us have done that? Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you. The number is about 50%, and that's only because the other 50% don't want to be embarrassed to admit it.
Right.
Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody, because we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Just I'm hiring a professional. You handle it.
Yeah.
Okay, you handle it is a problem, because it's going to come back and they're going to do something you didn't expect.
Right.
Because
this video is so timely, because right now with equity up, people are going to start refinancing, they're going to start remodeling.
Oh, then they're going to dump
It's already
bucks.
started, and that's why I wanted to put this out there, just so people can take some notes. I mean, there's really like 5 key things that you mentioned that you need to be doing if you're going to have folks coming in, working on your house. You're going to remodel. You're going to, do any of that kind of stuff that needs additions to your house that, is needed. So there's some key steps that can protect everybody and keep relationships well if you just know what you need to do, and finding the right contractor that's going to do that stuff.
And finding the right company handling your funding and your mortgage needs. That's key too, because they have the ability to bring in resources. Because if you get the right team, they're bringing the right team together, and the whole process is better.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. So last final words, what is the difference between, say, contractor, subcontractor, what's the difference between those?
Okay. We're okay. California has changed a lot of stuff.
Independent contractor?
Independent contractors. In the state of California, I think everyone's seen the whole deal with Uber about, they're not getting paid enough and they're not actually employees, and the whole big state laws come down, and there's no such thing as independent contractors in the state of California, effectively.
Right.
The problem, an independent contractor is, your brother's got a painting contract, okay, a painting company, and he's out there, he doesn't, this is an example. You say your brother has a painting company and he's out there painting and he needs some temporary help real quick. He's going to go grab his cousin Joe or somebody and toss him in there, and he's going to here's $50, come help paint with me.
Right.
That's an independent contractor. Joe takes the money and runs. Nope. No. You can't do that anymore. Yeah. You have to be a licensed contractor. And a licensed contractor is a general contractor who's going to run the entire project. If a general contracting company does not have their own paint department, he is going to hire a painting company. That's called a subcontractor.
Right.
A subcontractor is a licensed contractor who has his own contracts, his own insurance, and again, he's an actual licensed contractor. That's a subcontractor that's going to be hired. A general contractor can't put a whole bunch of independent contractors on there and say, I don't have any employees.
Right.
Okay, they can't do that. Okay, so
they need to be licensed.
They need to be licensed, or he needs to hire them. They have to actually be employees. If they're not employees, they're not covered by workers' comp.
And that's where a lot of them are trying to avoid.
They want to avoid the workers' comp. The workers' comp insurance protects the worker. If they get injured on a house, if they get, if they fall off a ladder, if they get cut, if they break a window and slice their arm up or off or something like that, workers' compensation is the insurance that protects them and also protects you. Because if you hire an unlicensed contractor, if you hire a handyman that does too much work, if they have unprotected people on your property, you're liable. If they get hurt, they can come after you.
They're coming to you.
They're going to go where the insurance is, and they can't get the insurance. They really can't get the insurance. The CSLB, the Contractor State License Board, is going to go after the contractor for hiring unlicensed people. But there's a risk of them going after you, not the license board, but the insurance company for the contractor going after you for allowing them on your property.
Right.
Once you allow things to happen,
so it's our job to make sure
liability.
that who we have coming on is licensed.
They must be.
So we need to be making sure that we're looking at licensing and seeing that they are covered. They also provide like a one-page insurance document to let you know that they are covered. So
which goes back full circle back to the mechanics lien thing. Okay, because if you're aware of everybody who's on the job site, you're going to know if he's hiring a subcontractor for this additional labor or not, especially if you go onto the California State License Board. You can go to my website or go onto the California State License Board website, and you can look at the contractor's license number, and down at the bottom, very, very short form, you're going to see their workers' compensation information. Or there's going to be a little thing that says exempt. They have no employees. Now, if you hire a general contractor that doesn't have any employees, everybody working on that job site is a subcontractor, and they must be listed. If you got a bunch of people working on that house, and you, like for example, you got a bunch of painters working on that house, but you don't have a painting company as a subcontractor, he's hiring independent people, and they're not covered. So,
which means you're going to.
Which means your liability is bad, and there's no recourse to go back if something goes wrong. So you need to be careful. So you got to look at the contractor's information to make sure he's got workers' comp. You have to make sure everybody on that on your property is working for a company and protected by their own insurance. And again, if they're not, they're trying to cut corners, and you don't want them on your house. It's that simple. You just don't want them on your house. They're probably wonderful people. They probably have wonderful families, pet their dogs, take care of everything, and they're probably just great people. But if they're cutting corners at their own company, they're going to cut them on your house. There's no way around it. Don't hire them.
So, Jeff, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they find you?
The quickest, easiest way to find me is just call my office. It's right there in Roseville. It's 916-771-7229. You can go to my website, which is placerbx.com, and that stands for Placer Builders Exchange. So you go to the website, all the contact information is right there. We have a whole section on looking for a contractor. So if you're looking for someone to do a kitchen remodel or something like that, you go to our contractor search section and you just drill down to the specialties you're looking for: carpet, tile, general contractors, build a house, lawn care, and you can find them there. And every one of them have links that go straight to the Contractor State License Board, so you can check the license. Any questions you have, call me. I've got an amazing staff, some of the best, most knowledgeable. They train the entire state plan room network on how to do this stuff. So you're more than welcome to contact us. That's what we're there for.
You know what, Jeff? I appreciate you coming down.
My pleasure.
You know what? There's a ton of other topics that we can talk about, and hopefully we can get you on again and talk about some other things. But this is one that I just knew that was going to be great for everybody who's now going into remodeling, getting their house fixed up, and just trying to do it the right way. So I hope this all was very helpful for everybody. The knowledge that I've learned, what I've learned from him before, is what I want to bring to the table. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we can bring some more of this good, valuable content for you guys in the future, and have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.